Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me in the morning, I'll be on the way. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me in the morning, I'll be on the way.
Did you ever had that moment when you meet someone so tall, you feel like you should ask them about the weather up there? Well, imagine that feeling, but with a horse. Meet Big Jake, the horse so tall he probably has his own weather system. This isn't just any horse, this is the tallest horse in recorded history. Today, we're diving into the towering tale of Big Jake, exploring what makes him such a standout in the equine world, and maybe figuring out where he hides his stilts. So, what's the deal with Big Jake? Why does this particular horse get more attention than a new pair of cowboy boots? The obvious question is, how did Big Jake grow to such an enormous size, and what does it take to care for a horse that could double as a skyscraper? Let's start by getting our hands around some basic horse knowledge, literally. Horses are measured in hands, where one hand equals 4 inches. Your average horse stands between 15 and 17 hands tall. But when it comes to draft horses like the Belgian breed, those numbers start to look a bit small. Draft horses are the muscle-bound giants of the horse world, bred for heavy labor and pulling loads that would make your back hurt just thinking about it. Belgian horses, like Big Jake, are particularly known for their size and strength. They're the kind of horse you'd want on your team in a tug-of-war match, or if you needed to move a mountain. But even in this heavyweight class, Big Jake was an outlier, standing tall a whopping 20 hands 2.75 inches, or just over 6 feet 10 inches at the withers. For context, that's taller than most professional basketball players, and probably better at dunking hay bales. The term hands for measuring horses dates back to ancient Egypt. Now, imagine trying to measure Big Jake back then. You'd probably need a few pyramids for comparison. Now that we know how horses are measured, let's talk about how Big Jake grew to be the size of a small apartment. Born in 2001, Big Jake didn't waste any time living up to his name. Even as a colt, he was already towering over his peers. By the time he reached adulthood, he wasn't just big, he was enormous. Big Jake's size called for some special accommodations. At Smoky Hollow Farm in Wisconsin, where he lived, his stall was more like a barn within a barn, complete with custom-built everything, from oversized doors to extra-high ceilings. His stablemates must have felt like they were living next to the equine version of the Eiffel Tower. But what really set Big Jake apart wasn't just his size, it was his personality. Despite being big enough to scare off a dragon, Big Jake was the gentlest of giants. He had a heart as big as his hooves, and a gentle nuzzle from him felt more like a hug from a long-lost friend than anything else. Big Jake's appetite was as large as his stature. He devoured around 24 quarts of oats and a whole bale and a half of hay every day. Feeding Big Jake was like stocking a small grocery store, just for one customer. So, what's the secret behind Big Jake's towering stature? Was it a magical growth potion, or did he just hit the genetic jackpot? The truth is, Big Jake was likely the result of a mix of great genetics and top-notch care. Belgian horses are already among the largest horse breeds, but Big Jake took it to the next level. His owners provided him with the right nutrition, plenty of space to grow, and the kind of care that ensures a horse can thrive, even if thriving means becoming a living skyscraper. But beyond the science and the stats, Big Jake's story is about more than just his size. It's about the impact he had on everyone who met him, the awe he inspired, and the legacy he left behind as the tallest horse the world has ever seen. He showed us that sometimes, nature doesn't just break the mold, it makes a whole new one, and adds a few extra feet for good measure. As we wrap up our towering tale, remember that Big Jake wasn't just a horse, he was a legend who literally stood above the rest. His incredible height, coupled with his gentle nature, made him a favorite not just on the farm, but worldwide. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the life of Big Jake. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more incredible stories from the animal kingdom. And remember, while size might be impressive, it's the heart that truly counts, and Big Jake had both in spades.